After learning that the Rebel Alliance had taken the bait regarding the trap at Endor of the Death Star 2 plans, Emperor Palpatine departed the Imperial Center on his personal passenger liner, the Excalibur, to head over to a superstar destroyer that would take him to Endor. During this trek, where he was escorted by the TIE Advanced X-1 Alpha Squadron, the Excalibur ended up being ambushed by Zaarin's forces, composed of an assassin-class corvette and at least 2 assault gunboats. Upon the ambush, Zaarin's forces had been notified via transmissions, with a larger attack group composed of several of his best forces en route to Excalibur's position. Because Alpha Squadron couldn't hold off the attack by themselves, as it was vital for the importance of the Emperor's survival and escape in terms of the Empire itself's survival, the TIE fighter pilot and Emperor's Hand, now Colonel Marek Steele, landed the TIE Advanced Delta Squadron with his missile boat to be dispatched to supply reinforcements to the Excalibur and defeat Zaarin's ambush. Following this ambush, the Victory-class Star Destroyer Zeppelin escaped during the battle. Due to information from a loyalist Imperial agent planted aboard Zaarin's ship, the Zeppelin, as well as the Zeppelin being a considered high-priority target, as not only did they have the stolen missile boats and were planning to supply it to the Rebel Alliance as part of a defection, but also it was rumored to have knowledge about the true state of the second Death Star's operative status, which could ruin the Emperor's trap at Endor if it were revealed. Therefore, Darth Vader, in his Imperial-class Star Destroyer, was sent to stop the Zeppelin, and the Imperial ace and Emperor's Hand, Marek Steele, was deployed with him to lead assault gunboats to attack the vessel. Upon arriving at the Zeppelin's location, Steele discovered that a Star Cruiser was already there at the meeting which had begun. Steele then quickly inspected the ship to discover that a stolen missile boat was aboard the cruiser, and soon Delta-class DX-9 Stormtrooper transport was carrying officers that launched from the ship as it jumped to hyperspace. Steele destroyed the transport and made short work of the modified TIE fighters. Soon the TIE interceptors engaged the assault gunboats, and Steele eliminated them as he continued to progress in the battle. Steele then launched TIE advanced missiles at the Zeppelin's warheads, which were launched, and the advanced torpedoes until the shields failed, allowing the gunboats to disable the ship. While dealing with the TIE Avengers, Vader's Imperial-class Star Destroyer arrived and launched Assault Transport Omega-1 to board and capture the Zeppelin. As the process was underway, Rebel A-Wings and B-Wings entered the area, and the A-Wings attacked the transport as the B-Wings were attacking the Star Destroyer. The Rebel attack was destroyed by Vader's own starfighters and, of course, Marek Steele. The Zeppelin was then captured and was sent to an Imperial shipyard to be examined by Imperial intelligence. Vader then decided to interrogate Zaarin's spy, and the interrogation revealed 2 primary things, first of which was that Grand Admiral Zaarin was fully aware of Palpatine's plans at Endor, and had not only intended to confer his loyal core with no sympathies to the Rebel cause, which had then caused this spy to defect to the Rebel Alliance. The second, more important issue was that the cruiser which escaped had not only escaped with the missile boat prototype Sea Lion, but also with knowledge about the true status of the Death Star 2. However, it was eventually cornered and captured by pursuing forces, including Vader's Star Destroyer. Meanwhile, Emperor Palpatine summoned Grand Admiral Thrawn to his throne room. He told Thrawn that all preparations were ready for the final attack at Endor, and that the rebels will soon be there in their futile last-ditch effort of resistance against his rule. Palpatine then demanded that Thrawn bring the hunt to Zaarin and to enter its final conclusion, and that Thrawn should not fail him in defeating Zaarin. Thrawn then informed him that he had studied Zaarin's ways closely and came up with a new strategy and solution to the conflict, one that will ensure that Zaarin fall into a trap which will result in his death. Palpatine then expressed satisfaction with Thrawn's progress, and declared that with Zaarin and the Rebel Alliance soon out of the picture, the Galactic Empire's victory will be complete, and that they will rule the galaxy. Upon locating the Sea Lion, the Imperials deduced that the ship had not been touched by the time they found it. Nonetheless, because of both the theft and Zaarin destroying all the manufacturing plants for the missile boats via bombers, killing thousands in the process, Emperor Palpatine recalled all surviving missile boats still in Imperial possession and placed them into productive storage until further notice, an order that ultimately wasn't rescinded due to his own death at Endor. In part because of this, as well as Grand Admiral Thrawn requesting Steele's skills at the final battle against Zaarin at Tofalion Base, Steele was reassigned to now pilot TIE Advanced Starfighters and was sent to Tolfalion Base to help Grand Admiral Thrawn hunt down Zaarin once and for all. Thrawn would dispatch a squadron of TIE Avenger starfighters to aid his base, and his finest pilot to lead the squadron. The TIE Avenger squadron, combined with Tolfalion Base's asteroid turret defenses, managed to ward off the Murian transports. Then, towards the end of a skirmish against Zaarin, Tolfalion Base's asteroid turret defenses were knocked offline, and a shuttle made an unauthorized launch from the base's hangar. The pilot was one of Zaarin's spies, and Mark Steele destroyed the shuttle as ordered, as well as the rest of the squadron, which reported to Tolfalion Base's hangar. Since the sabotage caused by Zaarin's spy had knocked the base's turrets offline, Grand Admiral Zaarin was going to arrive on board a Nebulon B frigate with reinforcements. Thrawn was hoping that Zaarin himself would show up to the battle so he could capture or kill the traitor. But before Thrawn arrived, Zaarin sent a second attack force. This one consisted of 4 Assassin-class corvettes and a group of assault transports, as well as a squadron of assault gunboats. Tolfalion Base's turret defenses were still down, so Marek Steele's squadron was launched to defend the base. Eventually, Thrawn arrived, and Zaarin's forces were driven off. Unfortunately, Zaarin's forces had succeeded in destroying all asteroid turrets surrounding Tolfalion Base's main asteroid base. Grand Admiral Zaarin would launch a last-ditch attack to either capture or destroy the Vorknix project. He arrived on board his flagship, the Star Destroyer Glory, and launched a wave of TIE fighters, interceptors, bombers, and defenders. The Grand Admiral Thrawn then called in his task force to trap Zaarin, but before his task force arrived, Zaarin ships managed to damage the frigates very badly, and while it made its jump to hyperspace, Thrawn and the crew managed to flee the ship on shuttles. Next, Zaarin's Star Destroyer fired at Tolfalion Base, knocking out its shields as Thrawn was in escape shuttles. The base staff launched Corvette Vorknix in an effort to save it, but the remainder of Zaarin's spies were on board, and they flew it right into the hangar of the Glory with the experimental cloaking device on board. Shortly after these events, Thrawn's task force arrived, and it consisted of the Star Destroyer Grey Wolf, Interdictor Cruiser Corvus, and strike cruisers. Corvus had been delayed, however, without the cruiser's gravity well and generators to disable the hyperdrive engine on the Glory, Zaarin and his forces escaped with the Corvette Vorknix and its cloaking device. Thrawn brought his forces out of hyperspace with the Grey Wolf and Corvus just close enough to trap the Glory, but far enough away to be safe from Zaarin's numerous TIE defenders. Thrawn's 2 strike cruisers then came out of hyperspace right on top of Glory and launched their squadrons of TIE Avengers. The Grey Wolf also launched fighters and bombers to attack the Glory and other capital ships under Zaarin's command. While the 2 strike cruisers attacked the Glory, the Grey Wolf lagged behind to protect the Corvus. As Zaarin was attempting to escape, he split his TIE defenders into several groups, one to eliminate the TIE Avengers and another to destroy the strike cruisers, while a third one to destroy the Interdictor and possibly the Grey Wolf. As the 2 strike cruisers were so close to the Glory, they quickly succumbed to concentrated proton rocket attacks by the defenders. TIE fighters also managed to kill off a few TIE Avengers, but the superior skill of Marek Steele destroyed them. The TIE defenders then headed for the Corvus, would be intercepted and destroyed, although they did manage to do some damage. Without his superior fighter cover, the Glory quickly took a number of rocket and torpedo hits from the TIE bombers, causing Zaarin to evacuate the vessel in a number of transports. The shuttles and transports were all destroyed, but the Vorknix engaged the cloaking device and evaded fighters as it fled into hyperspace. What Zaarin didn't know was that Thrawn had altered the reports of the cloaking device, eliminating the portions that showed that the cloaking device was unstable in hyperspace. As the Corvette leapt into hyperspace, it exploded, resulting in the death of the first Imperial Grand Admiral. Thrawn had successfully defeated Zaarin and was sent to the unknown regions on a special project by Emperor Palpatine, but this may have had its own unforeseen consequences. First, Zaarin's use of advanced starfighters meant that the Empire would use less of them, which resulted in rebel fighter superiority, which was a crucial advantage in many battles. Additionally, Thrawn's presence in the unknown regions meant that he was not able to be present at the Battle of Endor to prevent the death of Emperor Palpatine, and years later Jalad Pelion would hypothesize that if Thrawn had been at Endor, Palpatine would not have died, and that the Empire might have won. And that is the end of Part 6 and the end of the Zaarin Insurrection. What other aspects of the Star Wars expanded universe would you like for me to cover? Write in the comments, and thank you for watching.